Hey everyone, Sean Watasa here, back with another video, and in today's tutorial we're going to be creating our very own NFT minter where you'll be able to deploy your very own NFT collection smart contract, and then we'll build a application where a user can upload their own image, name their NFT, give it a description, and mint the NFT to their wallet. An overview of what we're going to be covering in this video. We'll first take a look at a demo of the NFT minter that we're going to be building. We'll then jump onto the thirdweb to deploy our smart contracts, and then we'll build out our own NFT minter application where again any user will be able to sign in to our app, upload an image, give the image a name and description, and mint the NFT to their very own wallet. So with all of that being said, let's jump on the computer here, take a look at a demo of what we're going to be building. So right here, this is an example of the NFT minter that we're going to be building. And you can see here, it says sign in to mint an NFT. We have a sign in button here, which is a connect wallet component from thirdweb. Right now, we only have embedded wallets enabled, which means a user can sign in with a social login or an email address, and a wallet will be generated for them. So easy onboarding and easy accessibility to anyone for anyone to use our application. But before we sign in, over here, we have the minter, which is this page right over here. We also have our collection, which will load the NFTs that already have been minted to our collection. It'll have the title or the name of whatever the user names the NFT, the image that they have uploaded, and you'll have the owner, so it'll show the wallet address of who it is owned by. So if we come back to the minter here, let's sign in. So I'm going to sign in with Google here. And you can see up here, we have a wallet connected. Now we are going to be using thirdweb's engine with this, and we're also going to be using a backend wallet to take care of all of the blockchain actions, including paying for the gas. So even if a user creates a wallet here, they won't need any funds or anything because we'll be able to take care of that all on the back end. So once you're signed in, you'll be able to access the minter where you can click here to add a file. You can add a name and description and then mint the NFT. So we'll click here to add a file. You can see here, this is the image I have uploaded. We'll name this Ramen Panda, and we'll give this a description. So we'll just say panda relaxing in a bowl of ramen. Once I have the image, I have a name and a description, I can mint our NFT. You can see it is minting here. We'll get an alert once the NFT has been minted. So our NFT has been minted. We'll hit OK. If we take a look at our engine dashboard here on thirdweb, you can see a transaction was put through. thirdweb's engine is going to be taking care of, and our backend wallet is going to take care of the minting and the transferring of that NFT to the user's wallet. So once that's done, if we come back to collection here, we'll see one more NFT over here pop up, which is our Ramen Panda. You can see the image here, the name that we gave it, and you can see it is owned by this wallet ending in F1B, which is this wallet right over here. And again, this is the demo of what we're going to be building. So anyone can upload an image, name the NFT, and mint that NFT, and it will be sent to their wallet. Now, how this works is we're going to be deploying an NFT collection smart contract through thirdweb, which is an ERC-721 smart contract. So all of these NFTs here are going to be ERC-721 tokens, which means they're all going to be unique. Anyone can mint these NFTs, but they will all be part of this same collection here. But the first thing we're going to have to do to start off this project here is deploy one of these smart contracts or NFT collections to store and mint our NFTs to. So I'm going to come over to thirdweb.com here. Once you connect your wallet up in the top right, you'll be brought to your dashboard here, and we're going to head on over to contracts. I'm going to hit this blue button here that says deploy a new contract, and we're going to scroll down to the NFT section here, and we're going to look for the NFT collection smart contract. And again, the NFT collection smart contract is an ERC-721 smart contract. And what makes this NFT collection smart contract different from, say, the NFT drop contract is these aren't claimable NFTs. So again, when we're creating this NFT minter, any NFT that is created is going to be automatically minted to the wallet or the user who is using our application. Where this differs from an NFT drop contract is that the NFT drop contract, those are claimable NFTs. So those are normally for collections where you already have set metadata for certain NFTs. A user can then sign in. They'll be able to claim that NFT, which would have been lazy minted to the smart contract. An NFT collection here, again, we're creating the metadata through our application. And once the image has been uploaded, the name of the NFT has been given, we'll then mint that NFT to the user's wallet. So for the use case of our NFT minter application, we're going to be using the NFT collection here. So I'm going to hit deploy now. We're going to name our smart contract here. I'm just going to call this NFT minter, and we'll give it a symbol. We'll call it minter. You can give your contract a description, add an image if you want. You can also customize the parameters for royalties and primary sales. I'm going to leave everything else as is. Down here at the bottom, you'll see network and chain. In the drop down, you can select any EVM compatible blockchain. We support any EVM compatible blockchain, so you can deploy to any one of them. You can just search the network or chain ID. We have mainnets, testnets. I always suggest that you deploy and test things out on testnets. Don't use real funds on mainnets or anything. But we're going to be using the Mumbai testnet here, and I'm going to hit deploy now. We'll have a transaction pop up in our MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you are using. We're going to confirm to deploy that smart contract. We'll then get another transaction that pops up asking for a signature so we can add it to our dashboard here on thirdweb. So there's that second one, the signature request. We'll sign so we can view it on our dashboard. And once that is deployed, we're going to stop here. We'll have to do one more thing back in this contract later on, so leave that open up in one of your tabs. But the next thing we're going to do is start building out our NFT minter application. So I'm going to open up my terminal here on my desktop. So in my terminal here, I'm going to create a new thirdweb project. I'm going to run npx thirdweb create app. Not going to upgrade right now. We're going to name our project. We'll name this NFT minter app. We're going to use Next.js and TypeScript for this application and tutorial. Once that's done, we'll change into our folder here for NFT minter app. And then we'll open this up in our code editor. So in my code editor here, we have our NFT minter project. I'm going to go into the pages folder and first head on over to the _app.tsx file. And the first thing we're going to need to set up and configure is this thirdweb provider here. And so right over here, we have first our client ID, and we can get a client ID or a thirdweb API key from the thirdweb dashboard. So coming back here, I'm going to open up a new tab, but go to settings here. So under settings here, you can see you can create your API key here with thirdweb, which allows you to use thirdweb services through the SDK and CLI. So all you need to do here is create an API key. If you want to learn more about thirdweb API keys, we'll link down in the description below links to a tutorial video as well as the documentation where you can learn a little bit more about it. But I'm going to copy it right here, my client ID from my API key, head back here, and in my file directory here, I'm going to go to the .env.example file. And over here, you can see we have our next public template client ID. I'm going to paste in my client ID here. I'm also going to come back to this file and rename it and get rid of the .example, so it's just .env. Then we'll come back to the _app.tsx. And down here, the next thing is going to be our active chain, which is going to be stored in this active chain variable, which is right up here. By default, it's Ethereum. We're going to switch this over to whatever network or chain you deployed your contract to. So in my case, I deployed to Mumbai, and we're going to switch that over here, but you'll switch this over to the network and chain that you deployed to. Next, I am going to add support for embedded wallets. So if we actually run this here, let me open up my terminal and just run yarn dev. We'll open this up on localhost 3001. This is the templated project that you get with thirdweb. You have a connect wallet button here, and you can see here it allows you to connect it to a bunch of wallets, so like MetaMask, Coinbase, or any type of wallet, connect a wallet. but we want to just make it easy, have a user be able to sign in with social logins or email. So we're going to use thirdweb's embedded wallets. And to set that up, all we're going to do here, let me just drop this down. In our thirdweb provider, we're going to add our supported wallets. We're just going to give it an array of the wallets that we want to support in our application. And all we want to do is support embedded wallets. So we're just going to add embedded wallets. And just like that, we now have embedded wallet support on our application. So if I come back to the templated project here and I hit connect wallet, you can see right here, I only have the ability to sign in with social login or email, and that will generate a wallet for the user for whoever signs in. So coming back to our code editor, that's going to do it there for setting up our project. Again, we set up the chain, we set up our API key, and we added support for our embedded wallets. Before I continue on with the project, I'm going to add some CSS styling here. So under my styles folder in this home module, I'm going to add some styling, and this is just so that our project looks nice as we go on throughout this tutorial, and I'm not wasting too much time going through the styling. But if you do want to see the project that I'm working on, we'll link down in the description below a link to the GitHub repo where you can check it out. So I'm just going to close that, and let's take a look back at our demo first. So come back right over here, and in our demo one, under the for our application, we have this navbar up here that has the name of our application. It has some links here to the Minter page and the collection page, and we have a connect wallet button to allow a user to connect their wallet or sign into our application. So we're going to build this navbar here first. We're going to come back to our code editor. In my file directory here, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it components. And in that components folder, I'm going to create a new file, and we're going to call this one navbar.tsx. And I'm going to create my navbar component here. And for my navbar, first, this div, we're going to give it a class name here. And I need to import my style sheet here. So I'm going to come back up here, import, we'll say styles from, I think it's home module. Yep. And we're going to give this name a class name of styles navbar. And the first thing that we have here, we'll make a div. We have a title. So we'll call this NFT Minter app. We'll give that div a class name here of styles.navbar logo. Then in the middle, we have some links or navigation. So we'll come here. We'll give this next div a class name of styles.navbar links. And in there, we're going to have two links. So the first link, we'll just say, give it a P here. We'll say Minter, which is going to be our NFT Minter. And then we'll have another link here. This one will say collection, which is so someone can view the collection of NFTs. And this one here is going to link just to our homepage. And this one here, we're going to create a new page, which will be called collection. So we'll put /collection here. And then at the far right, we're going to add a connect wallet UI component, which is what we're going to add, which is all we have to add in order to get that embedded wallet support and the ability for a user to connect a wallet to our application. So once we have our navbar set, we're going to come over here to our _app.tsx. Above the components here, we're going to add our navbar. Save that. And if we take a look at our app here on 3001, right here we have our navbar up top, which has our Minter, and then we have our collection page, but we don't have that created yet. And then we have a connect wallet button, which allows a user to sign in with social logins or email. And then one last thing we're going to do with the navbar here is change the text of our connect wallet. Again, we're trying to make this a user-friendly application. So instead of connect wallet, we can change the text. If I come back over to our navbar here, and in the connect wallet, we can set the button title, and we can set it to something like sign in. And if we come back, you can see right here, Our button now says sign in. So when we click on that, a user can then sign in with their social login. So now that we have our navbar complete, if we take a look at our example here, let's work on the minter section here. So if I sign in, we're going to create this NFT minter where a user can upload the image file that they want their NFT to be, and then give their NFT a name and description and a button to mint. So let's head on back to our code editor here, and I'm going to navigate to the index.tsx page in the pages folder. And in here, I'm gonna delete all the templated code here. So all of this, we'll just select it, delete that, and we'll get rid of this images, and we'll get rid of the connect wallet button. So for our app, we only want a user to be able to see the input fields to mint an NFT only if they have a wallet connected or if they're signed in. And that's because they won't be able to mint an NFT if they don't have a wallet for us to send the NFT to. So in order for us to do this, we're going to create a variable here called address, and we're going to use the use address hook from thirdweb, which is going to return us the wallet address of the connected wallet, or return us undefined if there is no wallet created or connected. And we can use this here. So we'll create a div here. We'll give this div a class name of styles.container. And in there, if there is an address, we'll display our minter. And if there is no address, then we'll just display some text here saying sign in to mint an NFT. So if we do that and we take a look at our application, come back to 3001. If we're not signed in, it's going to say here to just sign in with, to mint an NFT. But once we do sign in, so let's sign in here. So once I am signed in, this is where our NFT minter is going to be. And right now it's not showing anything because we didn't add anything into this div here. So looking at our demo here, let's first build this left side here, which is going to allow a user to drop in some image file for their NFT media. So in here, they'll click and they'll be able to select a file and upload an image that they want to use as their NFT. So coming back to our code editor, we're going to first create a variable called our file input ref. And we're going to use ref here. And this is so we can create an input where a user can then select the file. And then we're going to create a state variable here called image URL. And we're going to use a use state. And we're going to set it to either string or no. And we'll set the initial to no. We'll import use state here. Next, we'll create a function here called handle change. And this is going to be checking to make sure that there's an accessible file for us to process and upload for our NFT. So in here, we're going to create a files variable, which is going to equal our target files. And if our files and the file's length is greater than 0, we'll then be able to process the files that we uploaded. So we're going to create a new function up here. We'll call this one process file. And this is going to read our file and convert it into a data URL for us. So over here, we're going to say reader is going to equal new file reader. File, if I can spell file reader. And we're going to say reader.onLoadN. We're going to then set the image URL to the result as a string. And then we're going to set the reader.read as data URL to file. And then back in our handle change here, we'll be able to process our file, and we're going to grab index 0 because a user should only be able to select and upload one file when creating their NFT. And then below that handle change, we're going to create one more function here called handle file select. And all this is going to do is open our file selection for when a user clicks on our input. So we're going to use file input ref.current.click. So now in our app here, in this div right here, so once we have a wallet connected and there is an address, we'll create a div. We'll give it a class name here of styles.mint container. And in there, we're going to create another div. This one is going to have a class name of styles.mint container section. And we'll have a title here that says NFT. We'll just say NFT image because we're only going to allow images. And then we're going to create another div. Within that div is going to have the class name of, and that div is going to have the class name of styles.fileContainer and an on-click of the handle file select. So it'll open up and prompt the user to be able to select a file to upload for their NFT image. And then within that, we're going to have an input. This is going to be of type file. And it's going to accept any image type file. So this includes PNG, JPEG, and GIFs. We're going to have our ref here point to our file input ref. We're going to have some styling here, just really quick, which we're going to say display none, because we're not going to show that input. It's going to be our div here. And then we can say on a change. We're going to handle the on change with our handle change function. All right, and if we come back to our app here, you'll see you'll see NFT image, and right now if we just click anywhere, it's going to allow us to add our image, but we're going to add some styling here where you'll see a box that says click here to add image, and if there is an image already selected, it should show a preview of that image. So coming back to our code editor here, again, in here, when we're handling the change, we're processing the file and we're setting the image URL. So if we do have an image URL, we can display that image. And if not, we're going to display a box that says click to upload your image. So over here under our input, we're going to check if there is no image URL. So if there's no image URL, we'll create a div here with some styling. We'll give it a border of dashed. We'll give it some padding. We'll display flex to center the content. And we'll give it a height and width of 100. And it'll say inside of it to click to add a file. Now, if we do have a image URL, then we'll create another div here. That div will have the styling here. We'll just give it a height of 100%. And within that div, we're going to display the image, and we're going to use the media renderer component here from thirdweb. And we can just set the source here to the image URL, give it a height of 100% and a width of 100% as well. So coming here, come back to our app. You can see here now we have a checked box, dashed box here that says click to add file. So when we click and we add our file, it'll then show the file image here. Now we also want to create a little button here that just says reset or choose different image. That way a user knows that they can click on that button too in order to take away this image or select a new one. So coming back to our editor here, I'm going to add a button here. We'll just have it say reset. Button's going to have a class name here of styles.reset button. And we're going to create a on-click function here. So I'm just going to have this say reset. And all this reset is going to do is set the image URL back to null. And then we'll give this button a on click of reset. Save that. Come back here. Now we have this reset button. If I hit that reset button, it removes the image, sets it back here, and then we can add another image once again. And then it'll show the image and our reset button. Cool. And then the next thing, if we look here, is we need to add this right side here, which is going to be the NFT metadata. So this is going to include the NFT name and the NFT description, along with the button to mint the NFT. So coming back to our code editor here, right after this div here, we're going to create another div, call this our class name styles dot mint container section again. And then on this side, we're going to name this side NFT metadata. So save that. If we take a look, now we have our image here on the left, and then we have the section for our NFT metadata here. So for our NFT metadata, I'm going to come back up top. We're going to create a few more state variables here. We're going to call this first one here the NFT name. We're actually not going to do no here. We'll just make it a blank string. And we'll have description as well. So we'll create one for NFT description. And then we're going to create a state variable here for the minting status. So we'll just say minting NFT, and then set minting NFT, and then we'll set it to a false for the initial state. So coming back down to that metadata section, we're going to create here, we'll just say NFT name. We'll then create an input. That input is going to be of type text. The placeholder, we'll just say my NFT name. We'll have value, which is going to be NFT name. We'll have the on change, which will set the NFT name to the value of the input. And then we have class name here, which we'll call this styles.metadata input. And then below that, we have description. And then we have the same thing. We're just going to put an input here as well. It's going to be of type text. It's going to have a placeholder that says this. We'll just say this NFT is ... We have our value, which is going to be our NFT description. We'll set the on change, and then we'll give it the same class name here. And then below that, we're going to create a button. And that button, depending on our minting status, if we are minting an NFT, it's going to say minting, and if not, it'll say mint NFT. And we'll give this button here a class name of styles.mint button. We'll create an on-click function, but this button is going to be disabled if we have a minting NFT. So we're not going to be able to click that button more than once. And next, so let's take a look at this really quick. Let's come back here. There you go. We have our section for our NFT metadata, and then we have a button to mint the NFT, which we haven't set yet. So again, we have an area where a user can select the image of their NFT. They can input the name that they want to add to the metadata along with a description. Once all of that's set, they'll be able to mint their NFT. So the next thing we need to do is set up our backend here to take all of this information that a user inputs and upload the image to IPFS. And then with that IPFS hash, we can then create the NFT metadata and mint the NFT to the user. And in order to do this on the backend side, we're going to be using thirdweb's engine. And what thirdweb's engine allows us to do is make API calls to a backend server here, which will be able to transact the blockchain transactions for us. So we actually have these backend wallets here that we have some Matic and everything loaded with. And what this backend wallet will do is once it gets a request to mint an NFT, it'll take that information with the metadata and everything, mint the NFT, and send it to the wallet of the user who is signed in. And again, Engine's going to take care of everything on the back end. So on the user side, they're not going to have to worry about confirming any transactions, paying for gas. All they need to do is sign in to our application and upload the image, select the name, and click a mint button. And again, we also used embedded wallets. So nowhere in the process of this application will a user actually have to go through any of the Web3 user experiences that normally come when you have to connect the wallet, fund it, and pay for gas and confirm transactions. So to set up our thirdweb engine here, I already have an instance of Engine that I'm going to be using here. If you want to learn a little bit more about Engine, you can also set up a free version locally on your desktop. We'll add a link down in the description below where you can follow that to set that up. But I'm not going to walk through that whole process here. But again, down in the description, you can check out the documentations along with a tutorial video. So coming back to our code editor here, my files, in my pages folder, I'm going to create a new folder here called API and a new file within that called mintnft.ts. And in this mintnft file here, we're first going to export a config here for our API request, and we're going to set the body parser to false. We're actually going to be using form data to take in all of the information for NFT metadata, including the image file. So we're going to set that here to false. And then we're going to create our handler here. And we're going to import our next API request and next API response. And then in here, we're going to create our request to thirdweb engine and mint that NFT. But before we do that, I'm going to open up my terminal here and I'm going to run yarn add at thirdweb dev /engine and at thirdweb -dev/storage. One, we're going to be using Engine to, again, use that backend wallet to do all of the minting for us. And we're also going to need thirdweb storage because we're going to need to upload that image file that the user chose to IPFS so that we can use it for our NFT metadata. Right? And then I'm going to add one more here, which is going to be, yarn add formidable, which is going to allow us to parse through the form data that we're going to get for our request. And then once that's done, I'm just going to drop this down here. And we're going to make sure down here that we also export default handler. So the first thing that we're going to do in here is we're going to make sure that our request method is a post method. So if it is not equal to post, we're going to return a status 405, just saying method not allowed and to please use the post method. Next, we're going to create a variable for a new form, which is going to be a new incoming form, which we can import here. Let's import incoming form from formidable. It says could not find. Okay, let's run this here. So it looks like we need to run npm install save dev and then install the types from formidable here. And then once we get our new, once we create a new form variable here, we're going to get our form and we're going to then parse through our form here and get rid of this. First thing we're going to check is if there is an error, we'll return a status 500 of that error. Next, we're going to get all of the data from our form. So we're going to require a few things. The first thing we're going to get is going to be our name, which is going to be the NFT's name that the user inputs in that input. So we're going to get this from our form input. We're going to look for the name field and we're going to store that into the name. We're going to do the same with our description. We're also going to get the address, which is going to be the address of the user and their connected wallet. So we know where to send the NFT to. And then finally, we're going to get the image. So we're going to get our image here. For the image here, we're going to check if files.image. Then we're going to get the image files. And we're going to get the first here. If not, we will set it to null. So once we get all of our information or our form data here, we're going to check to make sure that we have a name, description, address, and image. And if we are missing one of those, we're going to return a status 400 here saying that we're missing one of those fields because, again, we're going to need all 4 of those fields here to mint our NFT. Below that, we're going to get a few variables here that we're going to need in order to make our request with Engine. We're going to need our engine URL. We're going to need our access token. We're going to need our backend wallet. And we're also going to need our security key, which comes with our thirdweb API key. And that is so we can use our storage to upload that image to IPFS. And all of these we're going to store in our .env file. So back in our .env file, you're going to create variables for your secret key, your thirdweb engine, your thirdweb engine access token, and your thirdweb engine backend wallet. So your thirdweb engine URL is going to be the URL in which you're hosting your engine on. You're going to also be able to create an access token. So if we come to your engine dashboard here and you come over to permissions, you'll be able to create an access token. So you can create an access token here, and that access token will allow you the API access to your engine instance. And then for your thirdweb secret key, when you create an API key, you're given a secret key as well, which you should have stored securely. That secret key is what you're going to need in order to get access to the storage. So we can, again, upload the image to IPFS. So coming back here to our code editor, I'm going to put in my secret key and access token, and we'll jump back into the mint NFT.ts file. In the mint NFT.ts, after you've put in all of your values for your variables here, we're going to check to make sure that we have all those variables because, again, we need those. And if not, we'll return a response status of 500 saying we're missing some environment variables. Then after that, we'll run a try catch. In the catch here, we'll just give a response of status 500 and give it the error message, or we'll just say something went wrong. We'll just say of type any here. But in the try here, what we're going to try is we're going to first upload the image to IPFS. We'll then take that URI, add it to our NFT metadata along with the name and description, and then we'll mint the NFT using that NFT metadata to the wallet address of the wallet that was generated for the user. So we'll first have to, again, upload the image to IPFS. So we're going to get our storage here, and we're going to get a new thirdweb storage. And what this is going to require is your secret key. So we'll give it our thirdweb secret key here. Then we're going to read our file from the temporary URL path that we got. So we're going to call this file data. And this is going to equal fs dot, and let's import fs here. So fs dot read file sync, and that is going to read our image file, image file.path, and we'll actually let's just name our variable up here image file, and it should be image file.file path. There we go. Then we're going to upload that image or that file data to IPFS. So we're going to call this here URI, and we're going to await our storage, and we are going to upload the file data. And we need to make this an async function here. So right over here, we're going to add async. There we go. So yeah, we're going to upload our file data. We're going to get back our URI. then we can create our NFT metadata. So we'll say NFT metadata. And what our NFT metadata is going to look like is we're going to have the name of our NFT, which is going to be the name, which is what we got right over here from our form data. And then we're going to have the description, which is the description. And then we're going to have the image, which is going to be the URI of the image that we uploaded to IPFS. Now we need to get an instance of our engine here. So we're going to create a variable called engine. We're going to get a new engine, and we're going to have to provide this with our engine URL, which is going to be our thirdweb engine URL, and then our access token, which is going to be our thirdweb access token. Then we're going to create our request and get back our response here. So we'll store this in response, and our request is going to be to await engine, and then we're going to say .erc, and this is again a 721 because we're using an NFT collection contract, and we're going to run the mint2 function. And with the mint2 function, we just have to provide it a few things. The first thing is the chain, so we know what chain we're deployed on, which is Mumbai. Next is going to be the contract address, so I'm going to actually come to my file directory here. I'm going to create a new folder here called constants. And then within that, I'm going to create a new file called constants.ts. And then in here, we're going to export a variable called NFT contract address. And I'm going to come back to the contract that we deployed and copy that address. And come back here and paste that in because we're going to need this a few times throughout creating this application. And then coming back here, we can say NFT contract address. And then we're going to next need to, what's next? The backend wallet. So we're going to put in our thirdweb backend wallet. And then we're going to need our request body, which is going to include the receiver and the metadata. So for our body here, the receiver is going to be the address, again, of the connected wallet. And then the metadata is going to be the NFT metadata that we created up here with the name, description, and the URI of the image. So once we get back our response, we're going to return a status 200, give it a message here saying NFT minted, and we'll set the data to the response. Then at the very bottom here, we're going to just put fs.unlink sync and then image file.file path. And this is just so we can delete the temporary file that we used to upload to IPFS. So that is going to be our backend here that we're going to, again, mint that NFT to our user. So just to quickly go over this, we're checking to make sure that our request method is a post. Then we're getting our form because we are going to submit the request here with some form data. We're going to then parse through that data. We're going to get the name, description, address, and the image file for the NFT. We'll make sure that we have all of those before we continue. We'll also make sure that we have all the environment variables we need to upload our image to storage and gain access to our thirdweb engine. And then we're going to upload our image file to IPFS, create our NFT metadata with the information from the user along with the URI of the uploaded image. We'll then use engine to mint that NFT to the address of the connected wallet. And we're going to use the information that we got as the NFT's metadata. So now back in our index.tsx file, we just need to create the function here for our button. So coming all the way back up here, we're going to create a handle mint function, which is going to be an async function here. And what we're going to check first is to make sure that we have a selected file. So we'll just check if there is no file input ref current or file input ref current files, or the file input ref current files length is equal to 0, then we'll just return out and say that there is no file selected. Next, we're going to set the minting NFT status to true. Then we're going to run a try catch here. For the catch, we'll just console error. And in the try here, we're going to create the form data that we're going to submit to our request. So form data here is going to equal a new form data. And first one is form data. We're going to append. And the first thing we're going to do is name, which is going to be our NFT name. Next one is for our description, which is going to be our NFT description. The next one is going to be our image, which we are going to give it our file input ref current files, and then the first file, which should be the only file that we have. And then we're also going to give it the address of the connected wallet so we know who to send it to. So address will be equal to address, and we'll set also or to just empty strings here in case there is no address connected. Then we're going to get our response here. So response, and we're going to await and fetch our API here. So /API/mint NFT. And in there, our method will be post. And our body is going to be our form data here. Then we'll get our response and store it into a data variable. And we'll check if our response is not okay. We'll throw an error saying something went wrong. And then below the catch here, we'll say finally, we'll alert the user that the NFT had been minted. We'll set the minting NFT to false. We'll set the image URL back to null. We'll set the NFT back to a blank string, description back to a blank string. And that should do it for our handle mint. So coming back down here, back to our button, right over here, we can add a onClick, and that onClick will handle the mint. So if we come back over here, back to our application, modal build failed. Okay, let's come back here. Let's just, let's look at this. Okay, we'll just come back here and let's just run yarn install really quick just to make sure everything's okay. There we go. Let's come back to our application, refresh this. And there you go. So we have our application set up where we can add an image, our metadata, and we should be able to click our mint button to mint our NFT. So right now, let's test this out here. We'll just select an image and we'll just call this panda bear. And then we'll just say panda in ramen. So we'll select mint NFT. You can see here it is minting. We get the alert here saying our NFT has been minted. And once that goes through, if you come to your engine, you should see the transaction didn't go through. Let's take a look back at our application. Looks like we got an error here. Something went wrong. Let's take a look at our code editor here. So let's just take a look here. Transaction simulation failed. Access control. Account missing row. Got it. Okay, so sorry, forgot about this. Back in our contract, let's look at our NFT contract here. So for an NFT collection smart contract, the only person allowed to actually mint NFTs and create NFTs for this contract is the owner of the contract. And in our case, the owner of the contract was my MetaMask wallet here that I deployed it with. But because our backend wallet in our engine is the one trying to mint the NFTs, they need access to mint NFTs as well. So you can do this one of two ways. You can take your private key from your wallet that you deployed the contract with and add it as a backend wallet in your thirdweb engine. Or you can come down here to permissions on the contract, and under minter/creator, you can add the backend wallet over here. So you can just have, so again, you can either just take the wallet that you deployed with this to add it as your backend wallet, or take the backend wallet and add and give it permission here within your contract. So I'm going to take my backend wallet here. I'm going to add it in here, hit add address, come down here and update the permissions. Just need to confirm that transaction. And there you go, we now have permissions. So now I'll come back to the Minter app. If I select my file here and give this the name of Panda Bear again, and we'll just say Panda in ramen, and we hit mint NFT. You can see here NFT was minted. We'll come back to our engine, and you can see there now the transaction has been sent. Our NFT is minting. And again, engine is taking care of all of this on the back end. So once this has been mined, let's give it a second here. So once it's been mined, we can come back to our NFT contract here. If we look at NFTs here, you should see that we have our Panda Bear and our description here, Panda in Ramen. And this is owned by wallet A96. And if we take a look at our connected wallet here, A96, and there you go, we created an NFT minter. Now the last part that we're going to take care of within our app here is to add a collection page so we can view all the NFTs that get minted to our NFT collection. So coming back to our code editor here, I'm going to create a new file in our pages folder here. We're going to call this one collection.tsx. We're going to create our collection page here, and to create our collection page, so let's just create a div here, give this the class name of, let's actually import styles first. Give this styles.container, and we'll just add right here a title. We'll just call this collection. So to display all of the NFTs here, we're first going to get our contract, our NFT contract. So we're going to use the use contract hook from thirdweb. And all we need to give it is our NFT contract address. Then we can get all the NFTs that are minted to that contract. So we'll get returned some data. We'll just call this NFTs. And if we can use the use NFTs hook from thirdweb, and all we need to do is provide it our contract here that we just got. And that's going to give us back an array of all the NFTs stored in or minted to that contract. Now we want to display all of these NFTs with nice cards. So in my components folder here, I'm going to create a new file. We're going to call this nftcard.tsx. And for this NFT component, we're going to create a type first of NFT card props. And what our component is going to need is an NFT, which is going to be of type NFT. We'll just import that from a thirdweb. Then we're going to create our NFT card component here. We're going to create a div. We're going to import styles into here. Give this div a class name of styles.nft card container. And then the first thing we're going to display is the image. We'll use the media renderer component again. We'll give it the source here of the NFT metadata.image. Below that, we're going to create a div. We'll just give this a quick styling here of some padding, 0.5 rem. We'll display the name of the NFT, which we'll get from the nft.metadata.image. name. And then we'll display at the bottom who it's owned by. So we'll display the wallet address, and we can get that from NFT.owner. But we can actually shorten this using shorten. We can use the shorten if address function here from a thirdweb, which will shorten our wallet address here. So we'll provide it the wallet address, which we can get from NFT.owner. And then shorten if address will just give us a shorter truncated version of it. So that's our NFT card. Then we just need to come back to our collection here. And what we're going to do here is create a div that is going to have a class name here of styles.grid. We'll also give it a quick styling here of some margin bottom. We'll just say 1 rem. And in our grid, we're going to map through all of those NFTs. So we're first going to check NFTs. We have NFTs, and that the NFTs dot length is greater than 0. Because if there are no NFTs in our collection, then we'll just display some text saying no NFTs. But if we do have NFTs in our collection, we'll then get those NFTs. We'll map through those NFTs, and in return, we'll get back an NFT for each one. And we're going to then display an NFT card for each one of those NFTs. We'll give each card a key, which is going to be the NFT.metadata.id. We'll just give it the token ID. And then we'll supply, then we'll give it our NFT, which is going to be the NFT that we get when we map through all of the NFTs from our contract. And just like that, we come back to our app. If we come to our collection here, we should see our one NFT that we have, which is the panda bear right over here. So the panda bear, we have the image, the title of that NFT, and then who it is owned by, which is that A96 wallet right over here. So if I come back here, let's actually sign out. You see it shows us to sign into Mint again. Let's sign in. Let's sign in with Google. I'll sign into a different account. So right over here, I now have a new account, which ends in B34. We'll add another image. And then we'll just say robot for the name. And then we'll just say image of a robot. And then we'll hit mint NFT again. And there you go. NFT was minted. Everything resets. We can create another one here. So we'll just say another robot. We'll say this is another robot. We'll mint the NFT. You can see there, NFT was minted. And we can actually take a look at engine here. And we have our our transactions getting sent. And again, engine is handling all of this on the back end. We can come back to our collection here, and we should see our two NFTs that we just minted, a robot and another robot. And you can see it's owned by the wallet ending in B34, which is this wallet that we just minted them with. And there you have it. We created our very own NFT minter app using thirdweb's SDK along with thirdweb's engine, allowing us to handle everything on the back end, not having to worry about our users having to confirm transactions or deal with the blockchain. Engine is a great way where we can build scalable Web3 applications and abstract away the complexity of having to pass on those Web3 user experiences onto our users. So again, we were able to build this app where a user can sign in with an email. A wallet is generated for them. They just need to upload an image, give it a name, some metadata, description, and they just need to click a button. We handle all of the gas transactions and everything. Again, all on the back end with thirdweb's engine. So again, I hope you folks enjoyed this video. If you found some value in it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on tutorial videos just like this. If you need any help or support, we'll drop a link down in the description below where you can open up a support ticket with our support team. They'll be happy to help you out, answer any questions that you may have. And again, I hope you folks enjoyed this video, you found some value in it, and until next time, see ya.